Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to SBA Prepping, Survival, and Bushcraft. I'm here at work. Let's chat a little bit more. Um, this is February 1st. January of 2023 is gone. What a really weird winter month too. Unbelievable. Let's see. This morning I had to go out to St. Bernard Acres. About 8:30, 9 o'clock, all the cameras went offline. And that had happened once before. And I got out there to check it out. And they'd come back on before I got there. Come to find out there'd been an outage from Spectrum. But I didn't know. I mean, cable's new to me out there. So this morning, when the cameras went offline, I called Spectrum and they had no outages. So that gave me a little concern, because somebody could steal the cameras. And my van has been sitting out there for a while. I wanted to drop my truck off out there, bring my van back in so I could do some work on it. So I went out there. It's really weird. Yes, I have cable. I have high-speed internet at the off-grid cabin. I guess part of the infrastructure bill or something, or some kind of thing, that every rural address in Ohio has to have access to high-speed internet. Now, I don't get it for free. I have to pay for it, but I have fiber optic cable at the off-grid cabin. And it was kind of funny once they got it all, they've been out there for months working on it. And I got a card in my mailbox saying it was available. So I called him, met the guy out there, and he's looking on the road, look up the driveway. He's like, how do you get your power? And I said, you see those solar panels over there? He's like, damn. They had to bring a dig crew out to go down the road where the cable was. They normally would run it along telephone, power lines, but I don't have any. So they had to get the dig crew to go underground, bring it all the way down the road and up my driveway from my cabin. But yeah, I have an off-grid cabin with high-speed internet and cable TV. But I got out there. I mean, everything was fine. Again, when I got there, the cameras had come back on. And as I was walking around, and I did a video for my other channel, I noticed my solar panels were covered in snow because of the snow we had gotten. And what had happened, my batteries are set. If they get down to a certain point, it just shuts everything off because I don't want to damage the batteries. And I didn't think about the fact that the panels were covered in snow, and all we've had is gray and overcast. We haven't seen sun for a week. And I guess the batteries had gotten low enough where everything shut off. The sun came out, melted the sun off the panels, started sending a charge to the batteries, and everything came back on. So fortunately it all worked out. I got to thinking, though, on the way out there. I did that video last night on here about bug out locations and things to consider and how you look at that. And it dawned on me, if you're interested in buying bug out property or a bug out location, when would be a good time to buy? When do you think the market would be right? If you're like me and don't have unlimited funds. And what it got me to thinking was, right now, we're coming into what should be prime time if you're looking, to where, you can get it affordably. Because whether the administration wants to admit it, whether media wants to admit it, doesn't matter. We are in a full-blown recession, period. That's all there is to it. I don't care what they say. We feel it. We know it. And with the cost of everything going up so much, you know, tons of people have cottages that they get away to, have camps that they get away to, and those are kind of like luxury items. And as we go into this depression where we're headed, it's going to be a full blown depression. People are going to be looking to offload that stuff. So I think over the next, 18 months, the prices for things like that should be coming down. Uh, that's just my thoughts on it. I don't know whether they will or not, of course. But I know I'm cutting back on a lot of stuff. And if St. Bernard Acres wasn't paid for, or if I got into some kind of a jam here, if I had to sell it, I mean, what I would do is sell my house here first. That's what I recommend everybody does. Sell your house, buy your little piece of property in the woods, build yourself a small house, learn how to do this stuff. That's my recommendation to everybody. Don't don't depend on your government, because they ain't gonna do shit for you. But yeah, I got to thinking about that on the trip out there or on the way back, and thought I'd share that with you and get your thoughts on whether or not you think it's the right time to be looking. Because I think it's the right time. A lot of people are going to be wanting to sell. RVs are finally started. All the prices are starting to come down. Everybody went out and bought RVs with their COVID money, and now they got to sell them because they didn't use them the way they thought they were going to. So those are getting really affordable now. If you buy them with the knowledge of how you're going to use them, you're not buying them just because you can, just because the government gave you all this money. So yeah. I think it's the right time. If I was looking, I'd be looking now for sure. What else going on? Not much. I'm here working. That's so I don't have to sell St. Bernard Acres. I got to work a part-time job. Man, I had propane delivered to the cabin. That was, I don't know what y'all are paying for propane. I just have a 100-gallon tank. So, and it was down. I forgot to fill it last year. The way it works out there, the tank is free. I got free tank and free installation. And there's no rental on the tank as long as I fill it once a year. And it's only a 100-gallon tank. I mean, I don't live there full time, so it's not, that big of an issue. And fortunately, they let me go. It was down to like 3 or 4% when I thought about it. And they tell you to call when it's at 20%. And in these deep freezes, I keep it on low so the cabin, doesn't freeze over completely. But they got out there and filled it up. It's $3.28 a gallon. And there's a difference between a 100-gallon tank and a 100-pound tank. Because, you got those 100-pound tanks that are the small cylinders. And I think the way that works out, in a 100-gallon tank, there's about 20 gallons. Or, yeah, in a 100-pound tank, there's about 20 gallons of propane. Well, I have a 100-gallon tank. It's a big tank. So if you think, okay, I got a 100-pound tank out there, I got the same amount. You don't. Those generally, by the pound, it's like, I don't remember the math. I'm not going to try to do it now. But look it up. Pounds versus gallons. I buy by the gallon. I get 20-pound tanks for my grill and 20-pound tanks for my Mr. Buddy heater in case the power goes out. I can use that. I use 20-gallon tanks. But the house is piped and got the propane heater, the cabin, I mean, and a 100-gallon tank. That's about it. It's cold, man. We're going to have a cold weekend coming up. And then next weekend, the 50s again. You got HARP there changing wind patterns and really screwing everything up. ice storms everywhere, people without power. And again, have backups, folks. Have backups. Once a month, I start my generators, and I make sure I have fresh gas on hand. I'll keep gas for a few months and then dump that in my gas tank and fill up the cans with fresh gas. So they're never more than a few months old. That's all part of being ready. That's the common sense part of being preppers, not just prepping for the end of the world, but just being prepared for not even emergencies, just nuisances. But yeah, that's all I can suggest to people. Texas got freezes again, and people in Tennessee, they're losing power, and they do it every year. You should know it's coming. People should be prepared, and they don't be. And don't be one of those people, you go without power, you manage to find a generator at Lowe's, you buy it, power comes back on, you take the generator back. Don't be one of those people. It's an investment to keep your family normal when the power does go out. That's what that is. It's part of an insurance policy. That's how we have to look at it. But yeah, I just want to talk about when I thought would be a good time to look for property. When's a good time to hit the market and find out what's out there? During a recession, people got to dump that stuff. Those are considered luxury items, except to people like us. That's not, St. Bernard Acres is not a luxury item to me. St. Bernard Acres is my sanctuary. That's my safe hood. When shit hits the fan, I have a safe place to retreat to. It's not just a cabin. So that's how we look at it. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Think now's a good time. This is Joe from SBA Prepping, Survival, and Bushcraft. I'm out.